Hi everyone, my name's Janine. Thank you for finding yourselves here today and welcome to your practice. I wanted to offer up a little self-care somatic movement practice, which will be based around undoing our habitual movements or our patterns and just playing with the curious exploration of our sensations. And as you move today through this practice, I'll invite you to do it with the intention of focusing on the internal experience of the movement rather than the external appearance. So not worrying so much about what you look like throughout your practice, but how do you feel in your body? We're not trying to get our bodies into the poses so much as using the poses to explore the body. So as we explore these sensations today, we'll work with our nervous system through things like touch and sound. And I encourage you to move slowly, giving yourself the opportunity to listen to your body and what it needs. This can also help us to not overdo something or possibly injure ourselves. By moving slowly, it helps to create new patterns in the body, things that make us feel good from the inside, things that we can do for our inner systems to come back to ourselves and to break those old patterns that aren't serving us. And maybe not just patterns in movement, but emotional patterns too, or reactive patterns. So let this be an exploratory, new experience for you. So let's close down the eyes, and we'll begin our practice by sitting up tall, finding a comfortable seat if you're not already there. And let's bring our hands down onto our lap, and I'll invite you to place one palm facing down and the other one facing up. A symbol of both grounding ourselves and staying open to receive. Starting to take notice of your breath without any need to fix or change anything, but just beginning to become aware of it. And from here, let's bring the palm that's facing down over our heart center, beginning to breathe into our hand that is laying over top of our heart, just taking notice of that point of contact, of that feeling of your heart beating underneath your palm. Taking a few rounds of breath here. Just noticing perhaps how your own touch feels to you. Maybe sending your breath right into your heart center. And on your next inhale, let's bring both our hands together now in a prayer, Anjali Mudra. And let's take the fullest, deepest breath that we have yet today, breathing in through the nose fully. Once you're at the top, we'll sigh it out on an exhale. Now let's begin our movement by bringing both of the soles of our feet together in front of us for Baddha Konasana, butterfly. And just mindfully beginning to get some movement here by fluttering out the knees, starting to get the blood flowing in the lower body. And you can come to stillness now, and I'll invite you to just kind of open up the feet like you're opening up the pages of a book. And just giving yourself a little self-massage here, getting into the soles of the feet, getting into the toes. A simple yet beautiful act of self-care for ourselves here. Maybe slowly beginning to move up the legs, getting into the calves here. Maybe moving up into the thighs, into the hips, and around your lower back. And then tracing your hands back down again. And getting into a few more flutters of the knees. Let's bring our hands now back behind us and we'll bring our feet out in front of us, planting both soles of the feet to the mat. Broadening the collarbone here, opening up the chest as you allow your knees to fall over to one side, and maybe your gaze looks over the opposite shoulder. Breathing in as you come center, and breathing out as you drop your knees to the opposite side. Moving like this a couple more times. Now pushing yourself up here, we're just going to get into some light tapping in the body. So beginning at the tops of the feet and slowly working your way up your legs, bending at the knees and getting underneath the thighs, down along the calves, around the tops of the feet, the bottoms of the feet again. Just lightly giving yourself some nice little taps. Let's work your way to your lower back, around on the stomach. Then let's move on to our arms, our hands, so tapping on the tops of the hand and working your way up your forearm, over to your shoulder, and then coming down into the inside of the palm, coming around the inside of the arm, the tops of the shoulders. Little bit of taps on the chest here now, just lightly using your fingertips, so not going too hard. These little taps can be great self-resourcing techniques to send signals straight up to our brain, telling it that all is good, helping any stress that's in the body, any traumas. So moving around to the other arm now, if you haven't already, tapping all the way down and onto the hand, coming around the inside of the arm and onto the back. And we'll come even onto the face from here, so just really, really lightly tapping along the forehead, the cheekbones, the jawline. Also super great for our lymphatic system, so if anything's feeling a little blocked up or sinusy, this can also help to clear that. Let's bring our legs out in front of us here long and just begin to shake out the legs, give them a little rocking side to side, shaking them out, shaking out the feet. Let's bend at the knees again here, both feet flat to the mat, bringing your hands back behind you, this time fingertips to face you, and pushing equally into both feet and hands. And at the same time, think about squeezing your shoulder blades together as you push yourself up into a reverse tabletop or altar pose. Really think about pushing up with the hips here, and take a full round of breath. Then on your exhale, slowly lower yourself down, crossing your legs and rolling forward onto your knees so that you're coming into a tabletop. So setting ourselves up here to come into some traditional cat and cows. We'll begin by inhaling as we open up the chest, curving the spine, maybe gaze looks up. And on your exhale, you can think about tucking your chin to your chest and rounding your spine like a cat. Moving like this a couple more times. And next time you come to a flat back, just begin to rock out the hips here, wagging your tail a couple times and keeping a little buoyancy in the elbows. Let's come to center, and from here, we'll begin to trace our right hand up along the chest all the way to the sky. And on your exhale, we're going to thread it through, bringing our ear towards the mat. And right away as we inhale, we'll reach ourselves right back up to the sky. And on your exhale, threading it through, bringing your right ear towards the mat. We'll go one more time like that, inhaling as you reach up. And on your exhale, this time we'll stay threading it through, really relaxing your right shoulder and your ear onto the mat, pushing into the back of the right hand. You can begin to walk your left hand forward to the top of the mat and maybe opening it up. So you're bringing your left hand towards your lower back, coming into a bit of a bind so that your chest opens up even more. Or just keeping it long out in front of you, maybe seeing which feels better. And on that next round of breath, bringing your left hand back underneath your shoulder and unthreading your right hand, so reaching it all the way up to the sky. And as if someone's pulling on your hand, it's going to bring you all the way up to stand on your knees, bringing your right hand back behind you and reaching your left hand up to the sky for a bit of a counter side body stretch here. Then circling both hands back down to the mat in front of you for your tabletop, and we'll come into the second side. This time right away, reaching your left hand all the way up towards the sky and exhaling as you're threading it through underneath your right hand this time. Flowing like this as you inhale, you're reaching back up to the sky. Think about pushing into an invisible wall as you do so, and exhaling as you thread it through. Coming one more time with your breath. And on your next exhale, allowing yourself to fully relax, bringing your left shoulder to the mat, your left ear, maybe walking your right hand now to the top of the mat, or coming into that bind if that felt good for you on the other side. And just see that your hips aren't dipping over to one side here. Just try to bring them back to center. And one more round of breath before you slowly begin to bring your right hand back underneath your shoulder, pushing you up so your left hand comes all the way to the sky, as if someone's pulling you up onto your knees. Then that left hand goes back behind you as your right arm circles up, getting into that counter side body stretch on the other side. Then circling forward onto your hands and knees, we'll tuck our toes and push ourselves up into a downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Beginning to pedal out the feet here, taking it slow, pushing equally into both hands, into the knuckles and the fingertips. Maybe rocking the head out here, yes. Rocking it, no. And slowly begin to walk your feet up to the top of the mat, coming into a forward fold, Uttanasana. Maybe grabbing onto the elbows here and rocking side to side, keeping that nice bend into the knees. And slowly beginning to roll yourself up. And as you do so, I'll invite you to bring into a sway, a little bit of bounce. Just slowly, incrementally making your way to a standing, making sure your neck and your head are last to come up. And once you've found yourself standing all the way up in Tadasana, mountain pose, you can shrug the shoulders up towards the ears, allowing the shoulder blades to fall back behind us. Shining your palms forward here, keeping your gaze nice and heavy or keeping your eyes closed. Maybe bringing your weight forward onto your toes and then back onto your heels, then side to side, just feeling out your equilibrium here, feeling your balance. And let's inhale through the nose as we reach our hands up towards the sky, palms touch. And exhaling as we pour ourselves right back down into our forward fold. Inhaling to halfway lift, bringing yourself up with a flat back. Exhale to fold. And inhaling yourself all the way back up to standing, palms touch overhead. And exhale, heart center. From here, let's bring in some dynamic movement, some shakes, some jumps into the body. It can feel really good to just shake it out, to move any stuck, stagnant energy that's maybe trapped in the body. So let's jump, 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 shake it out. Don't be shy here. Don't worry about what you look like. Just get into the sensation of how it feels to move, to jump, to shake. You can move your arms side to side, shake out your hands, shake out your wrists. Maybe as your heels stomp back behind you, you feel that reverberation, that energy move up and through your body. So just have fun with it, shake it out. Beginning to slow things down, let's just make fists with our hands and open and close the palms really quickly a few times, just getting some heat building in the knuckles and into the fingers and the hands here. And releasing that down, bringing your hands back beside you. Let's inhale our shoulders up towards the ear and exhale your shoulders back behind you. Stepping up to the top of the mat here, we'll inhale our hands back up to the sky, palms touch, and coming down and forward into your forward fold. Inhaling that halfway lift and exhaling, plant your hands this time, and let's step back into that downward facing dog. Again, just pedaling out the feet here, maybe keeping a nice bend into the knees and shaking out the head, pushing equally into your palms and knuckles. And you can slowly bring yourself down towards the mat onto your knees from here, sinking your hips towards the heels. And we'll start to crawl our hands forward, coming into Balasana, child's pose, taking a rest here, slowing things down, allowing for your neck and your head to be heavy, resting on the mat here. Just taking a few rounds of deep, full breath, filling yourself up 360 degrees, and releasing it all on your exhale. And on that next inhale, you can slowly begin to push yourself up, walking your palms towards your knees so you're sitting up onto your heels. Just wiggling out the shoulders here a couple times. And inhaling as we reach our hands up towards the sky, palms touch, and exhale, bringing your right hand towards the earth beside you and reaching that left palm overhead, getting into a side body stretch here. Inhaling as you come back up to center, planting your left hand this time, and exhaling as you reach your right hand up and overhead, getting into that side body stretch on your right side. Let's do that a couple more times, one on either side, but this time as we plant our right palm towards the earth beside us, let's pick up our hips and just move them off our heels towards the left. And we'll reach our left arm up and overhead, getting into that side body stretch again on the left hand side, but maybe seeing how this changes sensation, getting into a little bit of pulses perhaps, or rounding your spine here. And inhaling, let's bring ourselves back up to center, sitting on our heels. And exhale as you plant your left palm, picking up the hips and sitting it over to your right side this time, reaching that right arm up and overhead, feeling into your side body stretch here on the right side. And inhaling as you come back to center, palms to touch. And just as we did at the beginning of our practice, giving ourselves that little self-care, self-massage, let's do that one more time, but let's get into the hands this time. So beginning to knead out the palm, getting into the crease of the thumb or the knuckles and the fingers, maybe circling out the wrists here and switching sides. Just taking that moment to give your hands some TLC. Once you feel good and satisfied with that, let's bring our hands together and start to rub our palms quickly together, creating some nice heat. Closing down the eyes here again if you haven't already. And we'll invite you to place them anywhere over your body that feels like it might need just a little extra love. Maybe on the belly, maybe on the heart, or maybe over the eyes. And just breathing into the warm sensation, that heat you've created, and send some extra love, some extra care and gratitude towards yourself. Let's bring our hands now, palms facing up, onto our knees. And like we did at the beginning of practice, let's bring our left hand over top of our heart center, feeling one more time into that beautiful heartbeat, feeling into that sensation. And when you're ready, let's bring our hands to heart center to close our practice. Inhaling as we bring those palms up in between those eyebrows at our third eye center. And exhaling as you pour forward, giving yourself love and gratitude. Namaste. I hope that this practice was of benefit for you and you got to try something new today. So thank you so much, and I look forward to practicing with you again soon.